Oh, hello. But anyways, welcome to another episode of Chilltime with Jose, the show with all to know. We've got our Assassin's Creed wristblade here. We've got a lot of statues here, actually. And just not enough time to put in the background. So we've still got Steel Series. We've still got the competition going at the moment. Still members of Over and Exitlag. And, well, let's just talk about the few things that happened in the CSGO scene. There's been a lot of things. Obviously, one thing announced last night being the new operation. And a few other things as well, but I can't really talk about the other one because ESEA haven't said anything yet. They use a hidden blade RL. Yeah, that hidden blade can kill people RL. It's, you know, plastic basically. But yeah, so I've had some interesting kind of things. Actually, a lot of interesting things happened over the weekend as well, especially with ESEA and Macau. Like I thought I was actually pretty shocked about one of them because given how ESEA went after the coaching bug really, you know, hammer and tongs, it's a bit odd to see them back off, which I'm really kind of surprised about. And, you know, probably suggest ways on how they can, like, you know, make it more viable and a lot easier, considering it can be pretty easy to prove as well without heavily fucking casters, okay? I haven't got the report up yet, double standards. No, not really double standards. I think it's just like general laziness and like basically they feel like they can't establish those sort of rules. Let me try and find it where it is. What do they say about it? Yeah, I'll actually go through the article, but first of all, let's talk to Thing. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of things to talk about, and like I do agree with Michael, it can be enforceable. Like it can be enforceable. It's just I feel like they're just being a bit lazy on it, or like they don't have the evidence. Like a lot of things in like criminal cases, stuff like that, is that not that they don't know the person's guilty, is that they don't have the evidence to prove it. That's like one standard half the time, is that they know the person's guilty, but they don't have the evidence to prove it. And that can, you know, come up in the court cases as well. But anyway, let's just start off. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Chill Time with Jose. We've got a lot of things to discuss today. We've got a new operation. We got some comments from ESEA. We also got some, you know, bad news from the NA scene, obviously, as you guys may have known with Chaos. And, well, we got a lot of, a lot of results to catch up on, actually, because a lot of tournaments are nearing a close. The ESEA season's nearing a close. Again, getting MDL relegations for EU, that's coming in as well. I'm actually a bit shocked that the MD relegations for EU are really, really close to Christmas. Like, just in case you guys want, is I play WoW, and the raid's opening next week, and Mythic Week is basically before Christmas. You thought that was bad? The EU relegations finish the week before Christmas, and I'm sitting here going like, oh man, I thought, you know, people complaining about WoW were bad, but this, you know, I feel, to be fair though, you're gonna have to finish relegation a bit late, given a lot of tournaments are coinciding. Now, in the meantime, guys, I feel like my focus is a bit off today, so I want to just get the focus back on, because the focus is on outside. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, cool. But either way, let's just talk about the first things first. We talk about the new operation. And a new operation, I've got to say, this is a good one for Valve. So they released a few more maps. They've released a premier matchmaking system. People have been asking for this for yonks. And they've released a new operation being Broken Fang, a new case set as well. And it's going to go on for 16 weeks until April. And they've also got a new ping system as well in-game. So if you don't know what a ping system in-game is, it's kind of, you know, saying enemy here and stuff like that. And be able to ping it on the map, kind of like Dota 2, League of Legends and stuff like that. And it allows, you know, people to be, oh, I put a smoke here, or I put a flash here and stuff like that. And I feel like it'd be very, very good for the game to have that, you know, those certain things in it. They also had, you know, 7 new maps, being Ancient, Engage, Apollo, and also Cache has been updated with excessive details removed. What else has been included? So there's been a few maps included as well. I feel like they removed Mutiny and Swamp. I feel they may add some of these maps into the map pool. Like, you know, got a feeling that it might add it in. And what else in the end? I think, you know, Cache could come in as well. I'm not entirely too sure what will happen here, but I have a feeling that there could be multiple map swaps in the pro scene. Like, it won't be just 1 or 2 maps. I reckon they could shift out 2 to 3 maps altogether of the circuit and put some of these new maps in as well. Also to add this is probably the big addition, is the retakes mode, because I feel like a lot of teams, like they're a bit rusty on the retakes when they try to retake a site. And, you know, ESEA and a few other things as well also have these systems. And there's a lot of servers of these in place as well. So this is also a good change as well that Valve is making. And overall, you know, I feel like, you know, even though it feels like it's a little, you know, just a little bit, it's actually overall really, really good patch. And one of the guys on Twitter do talk about it, which is SoulGoat. So he does talk about, you know, having a ping function. CS could, you know, completely be game changing, you know, ping smoke, stuff like that. And also help teams spam bomb and stuff like that, you know, give you an idea where the players could be and stuff like that. I haven't played CSGO that much, but I feel like, you know, this will help a lot of people coordinate their team. And also it means that callouts don't have to be, you know, needed as per se. Like, you know, the callouts aren't as, let's just say, compulsory as they were previously, because you can just mark down the map where the person is, essentially, or not where the person is, but where the person was, to give an idea on how many people on site or not. Now, you know, I feel like these, you know, changes are really, really good. They also got to scroll wheel as well, as you can see here. So you can be like, you know, here, person here, flash, grenade, stuff like that. And, you know, I feel like it's a, you know, definitely a match-for-match upgrade against Valorant, one of their competitors. I think Valve are kind of aware that they're basically losing the NA scene to Valorant at the moment. And I gotta say now, they're probably losing the NA scene to Valorant purely because of the little stoush between NA teams and orgs, and basically NA teams going to Valorant can easily find an org, basically, compared to going to CSGO, for example. But we'll touch on that later. So we're going to touch on ESEA. So ESEA's going to be the next line on the quarter. So ESEA had also released a tweet today saying that they would enforce a zero tolerance stand from now on against stream sniping. So if you guys don't know what stream sniping is, it's not the usual, you know, you go on someone's stream and snipe them. It's basically people like looking at economies and stuff like that, knowing when to anti-eco and stuff like that. And that's what they're targeting here, is that some teams were doing it. And I think there was a clip ages ago with Steel pointing out that Dead was watching a Blast stream, which he shouldn't have been watching. And, you know, basically, essentially finding out information that he shouldn't have known. And it's effectively, I'm going to say now, it's effectively cheating if you are viewing a stream. So there was a lot of, you know, call-outs about this as well, like people being like, you know, if they're watching Twitch, you know, if a person's watching Twitch and they should be automatically pinged. Then someone was said, basically, just because someone says someone's Twitch chat doesn't mean they're watching the stream. And vice versa, because, you know, it could be boyfriends or girlfriends and stuff like that, you know, watching off a TV instead while, you know, their person is playing. Now, they received a lot of allegations of coaches and teams stream sniping, which means they had the broadcaster invisible during the progress of a match. And, you know, of course, you can obtain valuable information such as where they're going to play. You know, like, for example, the triple stack on Vertigo, knowing if that's being played a lot or not. And the second one being, like, you know, knowing their economy, like knowing if their economy will break after the next round, so they know to anti-eco, basically, instead of, you know, of course, calculating it in the meantime. I feel like, you know, if they're going to enforce this, there's going to be a lot more timeouts between teams trying to figure out where their opponent's economy is. Now, also as well, basically, ESEA said that they're taking a no-tolerance approach. ESEA added that since the initial notification, it gave compelling evidence that this behavior has been taking place on a regular basis at all levels of competition. I'm not surprised. And basically, real prospect of banning a significant amount of players and coaches in entire teams, and it'll basically destroy CSGO. I'm going to kind of say, you know, such an action would have been blah, 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 done by the practice. I'm going to say just give them fines. Okay, like, you don't have to ban them, just fine them. Okay, like, get the TOs to fine them winnings. Like, you don't have to ban the players, just fine them fuck tons of money so they don't do it. Okay? Like, that's what I'm kind of saying. Just fine them a bit of money every time they do this kind of thing. And, you know, we'll discuss that later, because one TO in particular, Flashpoint, have indeed fined a team for doing this. So that's what you should do. I think this could be more of a TO kind of thing. Like, it might not be ESEA's place, because ESEA operates probably as an overarching role and stuff like that. I think most teams, they found it usually were teams who had to stream up on a TV in their game room, just as something to look out for non-players in the room. To be fair though, like, you just keep that out of the room. Like, just basically, like, knowing the other team's economy is pretty much a good advantage as well, because it's an RTS game. Like, CSGO is an RTS FPS shooter when you get to the tier 1 scene, so you shouldn't know the other team's economy at all. Because in StarCraft 2 and other RTS games, you don't know how much minerals that the other person has, and you don't know what army they have as well, okay? Until, of course, you engage it. at the same time. So I don't think, knowing the other team's economy, like, you can have random guesses, of course, based on, what you see. I don't think you should be able to see the other team's economy and how they're going at the moment. So whether you're knowing that's going to be a buy round next round, or it's going to be a half buy, it should be kind of on, how your team, like, your own calculations, basically. Like, it should be, like, timeouts and stuff like that. It would have been easy to make it undetectable. Not really, because they put it outside. If they put it into another room, the coach is going to be in the room as well. Just in case you're wondering, the coach has to be in the room. Everyone has to be in the room and visible at all times. And basically, the room's got to be fully covered. Okay, like fully covered in webcams for the TOs to do. Mikau was actually talking about this, that they already have the footage available. So, they already have it available. They can do that. He's a referee, of course. So, I assume he's a big expert on the matter. I think he's followed Turst TV. So, I think they'll probably do a lot more about that as well to make sure people aren't stream sniping. And, I guess you can restrict it really well. Where, like, if a team comes in after their game's over, for example, that, they're not going to get done by it. Having staff members talk to teams, you can't talk during tech pauses. Just in case you're wondering, like during timeouts and tech pauses, that you can only talk to the coach during your timeouts. I think it is, but you can't have other members coming into the room, as far as I know. Like there are rules like that, like the rule book's in there, like of who can be in and stuff like that. Like trust me, like they've probably thought about all these things as well to make sure information doesn't get to the other side. So basically, what's going to happen here? They're putting serious recommendations, and like I say, now this is probably more affecting casters more than anything, because like if casters talk to their chat a lot or talk to Thing together, then they can be basically talking to themselves, because basically there's going to be rules prohibiting the viewing of the CSGO broadcast, which is basically then and basically republished and notified to all participants. I'm very sure it's in a lot of rule books about this. Now the stream broadcast delay, 3 minutes. That's going to be overall 4.5 minutes, at least 2 rounds. Yeah, that's going to really mess with casters, especially if they talk to their chat. So the casters are going to basically talking to the box and just be a bit 3 minutes behind, effectively, to their chat. During tech pauses, broadcast stream should not display current round information or commentary on the current round. That's kind of a hard one. Okay. That's kind of a hard one. I'm not terribly too sure. That's kind of saying, oh yeah, they'll probably be watching streams anyway, so don't discuss the current round. In Tier 1 tournaments, every effort should be made to include live video feeds from the rooms in which teams are playing, with as much of the room and participants covered as video as logistics and practicality allows. Even if the live feed isn't shown, it must be recorded and stored for a minimum of 90 days. To prevent exploitations of broadcast delay for the purposes of betting fraud by tournaments, tournaments is encouraged to reach official data agreements to provide real-time data via a data partner or directly to the esports and betting industry. So yeah, pretty much. Like, I knew this rule was going to be put in anyway. He's been disappointed about stream sniping in CSGO, read an elite ruling to preserve the scene. It's already been rocked by a coach bug. I'm just going to say you can just find them instead. That's what I'm going to say with here, but I'm not sure if ESEA can just press the fine button or they have to ban people instead. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm going to say one happy camper will be most definitely be Michael Solinsky, the referee that did all this. How does one get away with essentially cheating? How's it fair when they've lost money, ranking even their jobs? That's kind of a fair point, because a lot of teams did lose their entire thing because of it. So, I can understand his kind of thing where they lose their team, they lose their org, basically for it. So TA's going to have to cut away from the game entirely during tech pauses? Yeah, pretty much. And that's why it's going to affect casters the most, because the casters are going to have to talk until the tech pause is over and can't be in the server. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting. You can't talk about the current round either. Like, you can't talk about the current round. So as in, like, economy-wise and stuff like that. Otherwise, teams can hear it. And this is why I'm thinking, I'm like, you're putting that rule in for the casters. The teams shouldn't be watching the stream to begin with. So that's a kind of a weird recommendation. It's just saying, okay, well, teams shouldn't be watching the official stream. But then again, casters shouldn't be talking about the current round. It's just like, hang on, you just said that you don't want to talk about the, you don't want teams watching the official streams. Like, a bit weird there. So next up we got MIBR. So this is the first indication of it, and this is like probably a step in the right direction. Is That's going to be tough for casters in MDL. Exactly. So it's going to be tough for me. And, you know, that kind of thing. So what we got here is MRBR got fined for a breach of competitive integrity. And just in case you're wondering, TO finally standing up. So basically, I believe Kogu had the stream open. And basically, Flashpoint have said, if you keep watching the stream, the broadcast stream, you will be disqualified. So MIBR has been found 10 grand from the Flashpoint winnings and will be donated to a Brazilian charity at the conclusion of the event. And pretty much what it's going to say, Monte Cristo is like taking no shits about it. Like not no shits about it, but saying you don't get to do this. Like stop it. And essentially, you know, Flashpoint's still fine. MIBR has actually been breach of competitive integrity. All auditions. Flashpoint stands to be notified that any future broadcast watching infractions will result in disqualification. And basically, you know, follows E6 use. Basically, Monty was basically stating, if you do this kind of practice, you'll be disqualified from our tournaments. Now, I got my kind of ideas on it as well. And we should really probably enforce a few limbs. What you missed so far, you probably missed about the Valve new operation and new skins that released. And we're just discussing ESEA at the moment and not willing to act against the players and teams that have been stream sniping. So with stream sniping CSGO, what I kind of going to say is that you can see a stream, said player and coaches watching the stream. The game is live, as in the game is started, not ended. This includes during tech timers and tech pauses. And that's kind of like, you know, the limbs they should really stick to. Is just keep it simple. Yeah, they've already done that. I think ESL probably will start doing it. Flashpoint's already done it, as you see with MRBR. But I think, you know, those are the kind of, you know, limbs they should work off, that you can see the stream, someone's watching the stream. The game is live, like, you know, series is live, and that's about it. Like, there could be some more complexities in there, because legal complexities, there's about 20 million different exemptions and stuff like that. But just keep it simple. Like, keep it really simple. Don't have, you know, person was in Twitch chat, therefore they get fined. That's probably not good enough evidence. You need actual physical evidence of the person watching the stream and potentially reacting to it as well. Next up, we're going to talk about the NA scene. Well, the NA scene's going into more turmoil, as Chaos confirmed the plan to exit the CSGO team, and Chaos was probably one of the big beacons of the NA scene with Triumph. And they released the CSGO roster at the end of 2020. John G actually said in his interview in DreamHack Masters that the team's probably not going to stick together and pursue their own avenues after this. And also, Chaos are also backing away from the Rainbow Six Siege roster. So this is going to more of a content creator instead of esports. And basically, large portion of revenue that esports needs to stay competitive, effective sort of the players. So basically, COVID didn't work. And what else happened as well? Oh yeah, that's right. So it talks about, you know, Chaos and now they entered. Please split now. Well, they're going to split up because they said they were going to split up. So yeah, so basically, Vanity, Zephyr, Leaf, John G, and Marky, and MCE most likely are going to split up. And I'll tell you now, like, they're probably, like, less realistically, they're probably going to go to Valorant. Like, there's not really much place for the NA scene to go other than Valorant, which offers somewhat money. But funnily enough, we'll talk about Valorant a bit later, and you know, tournaments and lack of not paying creators and the players, but we'll see. Will possibly be a few signed by EU teams. Maybe. Can they even make the trip to Europe? That's the main question. Maybe Zappa could be picked up, Leaf could be picked up, John G could be even picked up as well. You never know. And, you know, you never know if they could stay in Europe. I still have, just in case, they still go for the Global Challenge, well, they could go there. But I'm not sure how they're going to hold on a spot, and, like, if the roster lineup has closed yet. Now, another thing I don't get is, this is what I'm, like, really confused with, is that some NA orgs are going to Valorant, okay? And they won't go into CSGO, which I'm really, really confused about. Even though it's very, very confusing in the NA scene at the moment. I've crapped them on about this so many times, where they won't go into CSGO scene based on the players apparently, but they'll go into the Valorant scene with the same players, by the way, and will pay them money. Like, I'm just really, really confused on, you know, teams not going to CSGO, but going straight into Valorant. Yeah, I did hear that. I heard Xander tweet out someone saying that, this is the funny part. Someone said that Valorant was random. I'm sitting there going like, no, Valorant's not random. It's an FPS shooter. Like, it's not like, you know, a goddamn casino. But anyways, you know, they could go to Valorant because the money's there at the moment. Like, they're probably the only area of money, given that a lot of orgs are backing out of CSGO. So NA's in a kind of a rough place at the moment. And, you know, it's kind of both the fault of the orgs and the players. Like, there was also an advanced match which was forfeited because of not one team like they couldn't reschedule. Okay, basically, just in case you're wondering, there was rumors saying that they were asked to reschedule and the other team didn't, and that's false. You know, the other team couldn't reschedule the next day because the players wouldn't be able to attend. But it was mainly on the other team saying that they offered to reschedule, but they declined it. You know, saying that they were the ones that offered it. I think it was the admins that offered it. But in the end, like, you know, CSGO gets a lot of, like, you know, quick to, like, point the finger at in these certain circumstances. When you'll see a bit later on when I talk about this, where, like, certain areas get away with it, like, get completely away with it. Overall, this leaves about 9 orgs in America. So, the lovely Liquipedia admin, MNMZ, Triple Z, highlights the remaining teams in the NA organization, which is basically Eclipse, Evil Geniuses, Gen G with 2 stand-ins, Team Liquid, RBG, Reaper, Third Impact, Triumph, and Vero Pro, which basically 3 out of these 9 teams are bedroom orgs, which is basically, you know, orgs that don't have, you know, a serious structure behind it, which is quite serious in the scheme of things, where a lot of, you know, other orgs being, you know, namely Cloud9's in Europe, Renegades in Australia, but there's a lot of other orgs that are in Valorant, but not in CSGO. And yeah, as you can see, like, a lot of the talent's just going to, you know, where Valorant is because they get paid a salary or so. Liquid have a facility in Europe. They're not, Liquid's not an EU org, it's an NA org. Like, basically at the end of the day, if Liquid wanted to go somewhere to stay in North America, in the future, they'll probably go to EU, given the fact that there's going to only be really not much competition there. So they might move to EU, where, you know, most of CSGO is going to be played. I'm not sure. Well, they're in Europe for a good while now because of the COVID-19. It's not because that they wanted to be there. If they wanted, they wouldn't be there if they didn't want to be there. Like, they wanted to be in NA, considering they're an NA-based team. Like, people go like, "Oh, they're EU." No, they're not EU. They're an NA org. But we're not talking about where they're playing. We're talking about where they're from. It's an NA org. But, you know, this is what I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of NA orgs that have pulled out, obviously, like, you know, being Recon 5 and stuff like that, because of monetary concerns. But there's a lot of other orgs that have the money to invest in these teams, but they go gambling it away. Like, I don't understand. This is why I don't understand why certain orgs are quick to go into Valorant, but when it comes to CSGO, they have cold feet instantly, even though Valorant and CSGO both have the same issues. Like, it's like, let me just give you an example. Wardell's Orgless couldn't get an org in CSGO with, you know, very good players like Sub Rosa and stuff like that. But when they went to Valorant, they got a team instantly. So I think there's something around there with CSGO and Valorant that isn't the case. And I think basically Valve might want to aggressively take this on to see what's happening in the NA scene, to see what's going on. Because, like, you know, your esports pretty much dead. It's pretty much dead in NA. And potentially could die in Australia as well, because Australian team, like a lot of Australia CSGO players, have now gone to Valorant, where of course it's, you know, going quite well. Some talent as well has gone to Valorant as well, and like Valve might have to seriously take a look at it as well. Even when Riot tell Oceania that if you want to go, like if you want to qualify for the Valorant World Cup, you have to go through America. People still playing it, even though, like, you know, CSGO has their own entry to the scene. Now, next up, we're going to talk about the tournaments that have happened recently. So Flashpoint. So Flashpoint's going to be playing tonight. I think it's the lower brackets being playing tonight, which is going to be MIBR v Mad Lions and Big v OG. Now, technically Kinship, Depth, and GGPR orgs as well, but they're just definitely lower tier orgs. You're probably bedroom orgs, as we call them. I think he was talking about the amount of these teams in MDL. So Virtus.pro beat Big last night, and Fnatic beat MIBR last night. I'm going to say this. Virtus.pro has been underdogs in both of their matchups, just in case you guys have been wondering. And they've completely, you know, and they've won 2-1 against opposition. And they'll most likely be underdogs against Fnatic. But we'll see what happens. My tips to say, I think Mad Lions will take care of MIBR. The rejuvenation of MIBR. And I think B will take care of OG. And I think Virtus.pro will take care of Fnatic. That's my tip. I think Virtus.pro will win the entire grand finals. Now, next up, we're going to talk about DreamHack Masters. So DreamHack Masters finally got to its playoff stage, and Heroic beat Spirit. I'm not sure if Spirit got out of that in the end because they got 2-0 by Cloud9. Yeah, they did. Cloud9 got 2-0 them as well. Like, Heroic beat Spirit, and Spirit lost to Cloud9. The Juggernaut continues on as well. And now we've got the final as well with, Complexity take on Furia. That would probably be a good matchup. Gambit v Astralis. There's going to be a big, big test for Gambit. Okay, it's going to be a massive, massive, massive test for Gambit. Then you got Cloud9 v Mouse, and you get Heroic v Godsent. Kinch about to get a step back to Advance. I highly doubt they can qualify with MDL again. Def already top 8, and GGPR have a good chance to qualify for MDL. No, that's a good sign. With DreamHack Masters, I have a feeling that Astralis might win out. But this game is probably a big, big watch for Gambit here. Because if Gambit are able to take down Astralis, that'll be absolutely massive. Like, absolutely massive for Gambit. The DreamHack bracket is insane. There's a lot of bad teams that shouldn't have made who made playoffs but shouldn't have. Name a bad team in here. Like, name a team that doesn't deserve to be here. That's really consistent. Other than Mouse, okay? Other than Mouse. I don't see any bad teams. I think Gambit's a top 10 team. Like, the only inconsistent teams I'll say is probably Godsent and Mouse. I'm actually surprised Godsent made it out, to be honest, considering their IGL switch. But that's good news for them. Like, I don't see any bad teams in here. Like, any teams on the given day can win the tournament. Like, the only question marks would be Godsent and Mouse. Yeah, but G2, FaZe, Spirit, and Liquid didn't make playoffs. Yeah, well, just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. It's how the cookie crumbles. You can't, like Liquid lost to Astralis. Like, for example, Godsent sent Astralis to the lower bracket. Mouse sent Liquid to the lowest bracket. But, I don't think any bad teams, these teams beat top teams. Like, I don't think there's any teams that didn't deserve to be there. Like, I gotta say, Gambit's a top 10 team. Like, I'm gonna say now, you probably in the next rankings, probably in the next 3 to 6 months, Gambit's gonna be in the top 10. Because Gambit have got a very good AWPer. They've been together for about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years now. That Gambit roster. Shiro's just getting better and better. Shiro's not getting picked off, being out of position. Axel, Nafani, Inters, they're all getting a lot better. It's a bit of a shame. This Gambit team would be much better if they kept Supra. But unfortunately, they couldn't keep Supra. Like, they tried to keep Supra, but they couldn't keep him. Supra was shaping up and peaking, just as the COVID hit. And it's a bit unfortunate that he's out of the roster for Hobbit. I don't think anyone expected Mouse, Godsent, Gambit, or Cloud9 to make it over G2, Spirit, and Liquid. Spirit is a toss-up. Like, Spirit's one of those outside looking in kind of things, so I wouldn't expect Spirit to make the playoffs 100%. Liquid and G2 are probably expected to make the playoffs. Cloud9's a good team. Like, I don't know why anyone shits on Henry G for Cloud9. They've got good players. Like, they got, Mezzy, very, big carry player. Like, Mezzy carried Game of Legion quite a bit in the MDL, because I cast MDL. I cast a lot of Game of Legion games. Mezzy is very, very good. Like, he's a clutch player. I think anyone in that roster of Game of Legion, like Era as well, like Era could be like, dude, he is clutch. Like, basically, there was a match where Mezzy effectively gave Era the chance to close it out 16-14, which Era did. He won a 1v2. And Mezzy got all the information. Mezzy got 2 kills on the boost and got all the information of where the players were to allow Era to retake that site of an AWP on overpass and win 16-14. So, like, he's a very, very good player, Mezzy. They got Woxic as well. Woxic's been on and off form. They got ESEA, one of the best Astralis riflers and stuff like that. And, you got Alex and Floppy as well. Like, I don't think this Cloud9 is bad at all. And I think a lot of people were, shitting on Cloud9. I don't think that roster is bad at all. They lost to, people going, oh, they lost to Virtus Pro and OG. Virtus Pro and OG are good teams. Like, look, let's take a look at Flashpoint, for example. Virtus Pro beat the reigning champions. Virtus Pro beat Big, the best aimers. Like, people are saying they lost to Virtus Pro. Virtus Pro, I'm going to say, will be a top 5 team. Okay? Sanji, Sanji's the support. He's playing incredibly well, Sanji. And they've also got another, piece of the puzzle as well. They got Yakindo in their lineup. They have 3 riflers that can absolutely stomp people when they get into their purple patch. And they've got a great AWPer as well. I've got to say as well with Virtus Pro, Jame has improved a lot. Jame is not that conservative defensive AWPer anymore. You saw on Mirage yesterday, he was playing some aggressive fucking positions. Like he even held unders. Like they just threw him into unders right away, which I was like shocked by. I was sitting there going like, Jame with the AWP in unders of Mirage? Jeez, I was insane. I was sitting there going like, what is Jame doing? Like this is not Jame behavior. So anyways, we'll get rid of that. So basically this has been expected. So talk about the next one. We'll talk about a transfer list. Yeah, this was kind of expected. Okay. Sprout, as I said before, Sprout are too good for Mountain Dew League. Okay. They should not be in Mountain Dew League. Okay. And they just keep not getting into it. Okay. They should have been in ESL Pro League Sprout. And they just really, well, I'm going to say that they really just, I don't know, just botched opportunity. Okay. They literally botched opportunity against Endpoint. They should have been an Endpoint. Okay. They should have really been Endpoint. And I'm going to say now, Sprout are way, like this lineup that Sprout have are way too good for MDL. Like they were dominating MDL with Hellraisers as well. And Hellraisers is another team that's a bit disappointing as well. They should have had the ESL Pro League spot. But yeah, so Endpoint got the ESL Pro League spot, just in case you guys are wondering. And Endpoint, very, very good team. They deserve it. But yeah, so Sprout at the moment, they're trying to get a full German team. They're looking at Slacks and Krezi from Alternate Attacks. I have no idea where Diha and Snatchy are going. Diha can go to any tier 1 team, okay? But pretty much it. Diha can go to any tier 1 team that he wants to. If any tier 1 team opens up a 6th slot, Diha with the person they're paying. Snatchy could go to any tier 1 team as well. Snatchy is a good enough AWPer that if an AWPer slot does open up, that Snatchy could take it as well. But I'm not sure where he's going to go. I was a bit unhappy, with I'm not sure if Diha and Snatchy are a bit happy with not getting ESL Pro League, but, we'll see what happens, basically. We'll see what happens. And yeah, basically, Sprout put him on a list. Kind of expected after they did not win. This is funny, like, Snatchy's in his VP shirt. I remember the days when EPL was 48 teams. Dude, EPL was huge back in the day with, like, I think it was like Oceania. I know that was like Renegades participating in NA. But I don't think it was sustainable in that setup either, to be honest. So next I'm going to talk about Chiefs replace Rooster. So this is a kind of a weird thing, because I thought Rooster were going to play that event with the 2 stand-ins. But basically Chiefs replaced by Rooster. And this is a weird thing as well. Like, I'm going to say here, like, this is like, we're going to talk about this. Like, this is kind of expected. We've been hashed over this so much. But we also got this, so I have no idea what this is, but like ESEA haven't announced, but there's a 3rd player under investigation, according to ESEA. Basically, ESEA told DreamHack, so I have no idea what it is. There's a few rumors here and there on who it could be. There's been tweets going around that it's about ASAP. I have no idea. Okay, but basically, it's a bit strange that they haven't announced this one yet. Like, they announced the other ones pretty quickly, but I haven't announced this one yet. But I'm not terribly too sure who it's around. I guess it's going to be around the 3 other players, because of course you have 3 players from the original roster to have your spot. So it's going to be surrounding probably ASAP, Chelios, and Danny G. Those are the 3 people they could surround, given that if you don't have the 3 people from the roster, you lose your spot. But I have no idea personally. But there's an investigation going on to one of the players, and DreamHack basically decided to suspend the player, but I'm not terribly too sure what it is. There's only 2 players from the Rooster lineup and 3 players from the Rooster 2 lineup that are banned because of betting on matches that they shouldn't be betting on. Like, it's a unnecessary risk ban. It's not they were not found to be match fixing. That's a bit more serious offense. They're accused of breaking the rules relating betting on matches. They shouldn't be betting on matches that they are a part of. but betting on matches that of a league that they're involved in. It's an unnecessary risks clause from Valve, and ESEA have it matched up in their rulebook as well, you know, that reflects Valve's guidelines on that. So they got banned on that, which is acceptable. You know, if they want to reduce it by 12 months, then so be it. But I feel like sentences are kind of fair to send a clear message that you shouldn't be betting at all if you're playing in an event. And I don't know what the third player did, and we have no idea about it yet. Yeah, match fixing would have been definitely a permanent ban. And also criminal charges in Australia. But yeah, we don't know if it's going to be more about it, but we have to wait and see to see what the investigation is. I find it kind of weird that no one really perked their ears up when DreamHack released a tweet about what's going on. And it's been roughly, I think it's been roughly how long since that tweet? It's been about 3 days since that tweet and nothing's been released yet. So I'm not entirely too sure what's coming up about that. But, you know, I'd say including a rulebook, there might be 3 players involved. Could be even one of their replacement players involved as well. You never know. But, you know, there's going to be some, you know, basically things to check out a bit later here to see what's going on in the AU scene. Now, AU scene has had 7 players being banned, 3 from Rooster 2, 2 from Rooster, 1 from Ground Zero, and I believe 1 from Lakers. And the one from Lakers, as far as I know, Steven's not going to be playing CSGO anymore. Maker intended to appeal his ban, as far as I know. But that's what's going to be going on at the moment. And all I'm going to say is, like, you know, you kind of deserve your ban and stuff like that. Like, with betting on your own matches, you shouldn't be doing it. You guys should be reading the rules. The first thing you should do before you do anything is just read the rules of your league, okay? So I'm going to say read the rules of your league. And basically assume that anything that can be, you know, subject to manipulation or, like, you know, things that you can control to put the bet in your favor, do not do. So next we're going to go through some ESEA Advanced. So Sangal, welcome back, technically, to the Mountain Dew League. What do you think they're going to do going forward? I think Rooster, we're going to pick up JTR from Rooster 2. And they picked up someone else, which I think it's Pred. I'm not sure who Pred is. But they picked up JTR from Rooster 2. I think BB's going elsewhere. And that's pretty much it. That's what's going to happen. That's what happened on DreamHack Masters. It was basically Pred and JTR. Kind of expected that because JTR is a pretty good player to replace Netic. And ADK can really be replaced by any support player that can clutch out. So, kind of expected. I'm not really just in case you guys want, I'm not really backing the Rooster guys in doing what they did. It's, I made the stance quite clear, like, read the rules. The rules, like, you know, we've already had a few people get banned because of betting-related offenses. Like, we've had it happen before. We had Strong Legs get banned. We had, I think it was Effie's, or did I get it wrong? But it was someone in that area that got banned because of it as well. So, you know, that's the thing. Predator German players playing on Control, okay. But, like, you know, there's a lot of, like, examples where people have been banned because of it. Not because of matches, but, you know, the betting unnecessary risk guideline, and people should be more aware of it. Now, Strong Legs is a great guy. Like, Strong Legs is a great guy, 100%. Like, I know a few of these people that have been banned by it. They're good people. Like, Strong Legs is a very, very good guy. And, you know, he's learned his lesson. You know, he's learned his lesson from it. And, you know, I think I do like a hard. Strong Legs got caught in a crossfire. I think it was Kardec and Effie's. That's right, yeah. And Strong Legs got caught in a crossfire because they found out he was betting on games that he shouldn't have been betting on. Like, you know, people often be like, you know, they said that some people said that Strong Legs was match fixing. He didn't. 100%, like, was not investigated for that. But anyways, let's go to the next one, the NA lineup. And the NA lineup basically, yeah, goes to MDL, kind of expected. Like, I'm going to say now, this is very, very expected that, yeah, we're going to make it. Yeah, the much better team. Like, you know, you got Swisher, like, they got a lot better team. All I'm going to say now, like, I don't think it was beyond doubt that, yeah, we're going to make it. Like, you know, I don't think it was really, really beyond doubt. And, yeah, you know, kind of expected. Now, we're going to go on to some other news as well. Kind of on the caster reel. And it's pretty disappointing to see this, okay? Like, very disappointing to see this. And basically, there's another poll series of Valorant that they didn't pay their goddamn talent. Why am I not following Dust? I thought I followed him. Why am I unfollowed from Dust? Yeah, so Dust, people didn't get paid from Pulse Series. Teams, players, whatnot, they didn't get paid. I gotta say now, this is not the first event that this has occurred at NA Valorant level. And something's really, really got to be like pushed here for Valorant, because he was also giving advice too on betting. Yeah, I was going to say, like, he did give advice on betting on stream. I do remember that back in the old days that Stronglegs was giving advice on the MDL stream. And I was a bit surprised myself, because I was like saying like, oh, hang on, they told you not to endorse betting on stream in the broadcast guidelines. I'm like, so why was Stronglegs doing it back in the day? I actually did mean that, think about that when I was looking at the broadcast guidelines. And I'm like, I'm a bit surprised that, it took that long, I guess. But yeah, pretty disappointing. It gets worse, by the way. So just in case you guys are wondering. So it's been not just one, it's been multiple tournaments. And Trovo, not surprised by Trovo, by the way. But BB might leave Rooster 2. I expect BB to leave Rooster 2. There's no team to be built around there at the moment, given that the entire core's banned, I would say, and JTR's moving to Rooster. So I'm not terribly too sure what's going to happen there. But yeah, like, this is what I'm going to say here, is that I don't think NACSGO is completely dead while Valorant are having these issues at the moment, where the NA scene are running tournaments with prize pools and stuff like that, and then they're not playing the players, their talents, or their orgs. And this is why I don't think like NA is completely dead, is because the fact that Valorant are having a bit of a TO problem, where the TOs are a bit shady at the moment, okay? A bit shady, it seems. Like a bit shady of not paying their players, or not shady, but a bit tardy. A bit tardy at the moment. And it's pretty poor to see as well. Like, really, really poor to see that tournament organizers, get all the boosts, they get all the fame and stuff like that, and then don't pay their talent. Rooster 2 definitely disbanding, and Forbidden definitely getting that slot but Forbidden broke up. As far as I know, like, Forbidden broke up. Next up, we'll talk about this. So basically, there's a conversation here, Discord conversation between Northern Arena and Pulse. And pretty much, this is kind of unbelievable. Like, really, really unbelievable that some of this, like, I don't even know, okay? Like, seriously. As I said there, this probably is my position at the moment, okay? Okay? Like, seriously, like, bands broke up. Yeah, a lot of teams broke up. Like, a lot of teams might be seeking other opportunities. But this is kind of like my response to this entire thing. Like, basically, Minak's last response is basically my response to people who won't pay up. Like, seriously. I just don't understand how anyone can have the gall to set up this kind of like tournaments and stuff like that in any esport and be like, oh, sorry guys, we don't have the money, we can't pay you. It's just like, you said it in a contract, you signed people to like verbal contracts that you would pay them for casting the event, and now like, oh, we don't have money, sorry, bad luck. It's like, no, like, you still got to pay people. You can't be like, oh, we made a loss, therefore no one gets paid. It's like, no, like, you can't be like, oh, if we make a gain, it's ours. And then when you lose money, you'll be like, oh, sorry, everyone has to fail for it. It's like, no, boy, you got to pay your talent. Skyfire can be getting free spot. Unless, oh, I think Skyfire will be very, very happy about that. I think they'll be very, very happy about that. But yeah, like, you know, I'm really, really kind of sick of seeing this shit. Okay, but it happens. It happens quite a lot in esports where people don't pay. Like, the only time we got paid work from, oh, who was it? Oh, dude, the Queen Ballinger, Luco, whatever it is. I forget the tournament name. But they paid me as soon as I gave them the details. Like, they were happy to pay me instantly. They paid me like within 2 to 3 days when I asked. And, you know, they were very, very good to me. Like, that org. Like, I was actually dreading that I was gonna have to write a, you know, tweet of how I didn't get paid. I was like going, oh, these guys take forever. You know, I heard all the nightmare stories and stuff like that. But they paid me within 2 to 3 days. The guy I contacted, I think it was Vlad in his name, he was like, oh, give me your PayPal. Give me your invoice. We'll do it. And I was just shocked I was paid within 2 to 3 days. I was just sitting there going like, oh, man, like... I was just sitting there going like, I've heard all these nightmare scenarios about casters and stuff like that. I just was paid within 2 to 3 days. I was just sitting there shocked, to be honest. That's my story with it. Like, the guy just paid me in 2 to 3 days. I'm just sitting there going like, you know, I thought I was going to have a nightmare scenario because I was like, you know, having a big heart attack over it. But, you know, it turned out to be good in the end. And this is just I don't want to see this in esports. Like, guys, if you set up a tournament in the future, even if you lose money, okay? Like, you don't have enough to replace it, please dig into your personal funds or have a reserve at least so people get paid, okay? Like, sometimes you're going to lose, okay? It's okay to lose. Like, next time you set up a different event. But don't punish other people who are not related to your poor decisions to try and cover it, okay? That's my kind of lesson here. And I hate it when people do this. Like, I hate it. Where they go, oh, I fucked up, therefore everyone suffers. No. You made a bad decision. You pay for it. You make sure people get paid for their work. Gaming Paradise Hell all over again. We'll not talk about that. Also, in the other end, my giveaway is still up. By the way, guys, for you guys from Australia, you can click exclamation mark giveaway, and you can win a part of the new Steel November. You can win a pair of these. And at the moment, we have 442 entries at the moment, which you can enter. And feel free to use all of these. Of course, I won't enter, because then I have a second Steel Series headset, and it'll be a bit unfair if I win that. And last but not least, before the end of Chilltime, I was on a podcast, just in case you're wondering, on Virtual Wisdom. And, you know, you can go to this tweet here. You can retweet it or watch instead, where, you know, I'm on with Mona, Sabrina, and myself as a financial expert to really talk about finances. There's going to be multiple parts of this podcast as well, because we do go into another session. We're actually going to do like 3 or 4 sessions of this, because we actually didn't really finish. Like, we really didn't finish. I think we did like the money investing and stuff like that, but we didn't even finish the retirement, which I'm actually a bit shocked with. Like, you know, I was actually really, really shocked that I think we talked over an hour, like, about like certain things. So we've got an hour of coverage there already. If they ask for more, you know, I'm happy to go back on and we'll basically get the rest of it done in an hour. Like, they were kind of shocked. They were like, there's still more. And I'm like, yeah, there's still a lot more to discuss. But anyways, guys, thank you guys for chilling in with Chilltime today. Remember to subscribe below if you guys are on YouTube. Follow my Twitch, Twitter, and everything like that. Also, shout out to my pals, sponsors being Steel Series. Oh, Steel Series is here, by the way. Steel Series. We should actually put that to podcast, actually. I think so. Thanks to my sponsor, Steel Series. And, you know, for the competition for the Arctis Freeze that you guys can win by pressing exclamation mark giveaway. We'll probably put that into the podcast, by the way. We'll probably put that in. So just put that command up now. Also, thanks to Exitlag as well. Exitlag provided me with a VPN service. If you guys do want to, you know, go in with Exitlag, you can type in exclamation mark Exitlag in my chat, or read the description below on how you can get a quality gaming VPN service, and also help me out at the same time if you believe that, you know, I'm a quality content creator that, you know, you love and want to hug, basically. And last but not least, shout out to my esports org over it, who basically support me. They've actually got me some new emotes coming in the pipeline as well. And in general, just basically pumping up my podcast and Chilltime with Jose overall. And that's pretty much it for the CSGO scene. I didn't want to really, you know, it's nothing too... It's actually been a lot of big news lately. It's nothing too, like, dramatic and that we should all just go, like, alarm bells overall. But I feel like the CSGO scene's, you know, it's becoming, you know, the spring where, you know, we're just growing out now. Actually, fixing all these quality of life changes, and we're really bringing up CSGO as a game. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. I'm Jose. I hope you enjoyed it. You can follow me on Twitch, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. It'll be all in the stuff below. You can even jump on my Discord if you want to throw me some questions as well during the podcast, which I do try to answer. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So see you guys later. For you guys watching on Twitch, it will be continuing. And for you guys on YouTube, well, if you want to see stuff after Twitch, you better get on then. So see you guys later. Peace out.